Dun dun dun! Welcome one and all! It is I, the mighty, the awesome, the planet-destroying with sheer penetration, AlphaOmegaSin. And I'm here with a long overdue pickups video. So long, in fact, that I'm going to have to make this into a two-part video because, frankly, it's too much goddamn stuff. I mean, there's a ton of shit here, so I was just like, I gotta remember all the stuff that I've gotten since the last time I did a pickups video, and this isn't even all the stuff, it's just a nice chunk of it. So, I might as well just dig right in, because I have some stuff right here that I got whenever I went to Retropalooza, which was absolutely amazing. I love my time down in Texas. I can't wait to go to this year's Retropalooza. But the highlights of what I had gotten down here are sitting on my lap right now. Now, two of these games I already owned, but did not have them complete or anything like that, and I'd always wished, man, it'd be awesome to have them complete. Well, now I do. So the first one on the list is going to be Final Fantasy II. Ooh! Final Fantasy II is one of those games, like, I actually didn't play until well after Super Nintendo was kind of done with. I had played Final Fantasy III before that, but Final Fantasy II is just one of those must-have, you gotta play Squaresoft games. This is when, and by the way, it was just going as Square, then Squaresoft, then Square EA, then Square Enix, but this is their heyday. This is time they get to go through things. The crusade for the crystals. So, you know, we're going back to the big old fantasy epic here. In the kingdom of Baron, powerful airships rule the skies. At the head of the elite fighting force is Cecil, captain of the Red Wings. If you are a longtime Final Fantasy fan and you do not know about this story, then you should definitely jump on it. I mean, it's pretty much on every single possible device and handheld and console and tons of other shit, so go and check this out. I don't even know what to really say about this that other people haven't said, but it's a game that I've wanted for a very long time, just did not have. So now I do have it, so huzzah to that and hooray and shit like that. This is a game that I did already own, but I did not have it complete, and considering the fact that this is one of my more favorite Super Nintendo games, well, naturally, having it complete would be fucking awesome. I actually have to thank OK Chief for this, because if it wasn't for him, I would not have this illustrious little title here in my mitts. And me and him, we had hung out quite a bit whenever we were down there. I ended up buying this off of him. He gave me a super duper ultra bro price on it, and I gave him a big fucking hug. But, you know, this is one of those games, like a lot of people consider the Paper Mario games to be the true successor to Super Mario RPG, but I kind of consider this its own thing, like completely separate. At least that's how I feel about it. Super Mario RPG, I mean, like, when it was announced, a lot of people were, like, kind of worried about it because they're like, how are we going to take a platforming series and then make it into a role-playing game? You know, but it was being handled by the people who handle Final Fantasy. But right here on the back, Mario returns in this incredible new role-playing adventure. His latest rival is Smithy, a menacing creature who causes fear and treachery in the Mushroom Kingdom, and also puts Bowser in his fucking place, which is hilarious, by the way. It's honestly a very amusing game. Mario must recover 7 stars and repair the Star Road before he can make his way to Bowser's castle for a final confrontation with Smithy. If you don't know, Smithy is a motherfucking sword that is just like, what now, bitch? But anyway. So, powerful weapons, sinister spells, and other useful items help Mario to complete his harrowing journey. New friends and old allies support him along the way. Even Bowser lends a hand, which was actually one of my favorite parts of this. But, I mean, Malo, Geno, and shit, like, those are characters I want to see show up in, like, Smash Brothers and shit. I'm like, that'd be so awesome! Or I would like to see a proper sequel to this game, or even a remake, something like that. And granted, I think the game still stands the test of time, but, you know, there's a lot of people who would like to see a remastering of a classic like this. And it's just, if you have not played Super Mario RPG, please, by all means, go find a cartridge of it, go find a ROM of anything. I don't care, just go play the fucking game, because you were doing yourself a great disservice by not doing it. This is the other game that I had already had but did not have complete, and I'm happy that I do now, because this is one of the best games within the franchise, let alone on Super Nintendo. Super Castlevania 4. It's weird because there's not a whole lot I can say about some of these games because these are some of the most must-have games on the system and make the system as awesome as it is. Super Castlevania 4 essentially is take all the stuff that made the first 3 Castlevania games awesome and just perfected. Dead fucking serious, perfected. Granted, Symphony of Night is still my all-time favorite, but this is up there with Dawn of Sorrow and Aria of Sorrow and stuff like that. I love this game a lot. It's really fucking good. Like, whip action. That's all I can say is perfect whip action, perfect platforming and shit. It's just, and some of the most badass fucking music, just, goddamn. The greatest Castlevania adventure breaks new ground and buries you in it. They are not fucking around when they say that shit. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, the first time, like, if you were a little kid and you booted this up for the first time, especially being a longtime Castlevania fan, you were just blown away because, like, the bosses are fucking huge, the graphics and background, you're just like, holy shit, this is all amazing, I can't believe this. Wait, I can whip up? And this, and I can do that. Wow, wow, wow. It was really amazing. It's fucking cool. You're not relegated just being inside the castle. You're going all over the fucking place, and it's a beautiful game. Like, this right here is a gem. So, get this, play this, love it, hug it, kiss it, caress it, and we might as well keep rolling with more Konami love, because, again, another one of the best titles on the system, another one of the best within its own genre, and within its own franchise history of video games. Turtles in fucking Time. Yes, I seriously, like, was happier than a motherfucker to get, like, these games all within one go. So yeah, Retropalooza was the shit. Turtles in Time. Where do I begin on Turtles in Time? To begin with, number one, Turtles in Time is arguably the best beat 'em up. I mean, sure, there's other ones out there that I can say are pretty much up there, like the Simpsons one, and the X-Men one, and River City Ransom, and the Yakuza games, and shit like that. Yakuza. But Turtles in Time definitely can be a contender for the best, or at least, like, high on the list. Now, if you had played, like, I'd grown up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles my entire life. I made a video all about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so if you ever get bored, check that out, unless you already have them. Yeah. But, it's one of those things, like, I played this for the very first time inside of a, what the fuck you call it, inside the cafeteria at my elementary school. And I just fell in love with it. And I didn't own the game for the longest time. I could go to a friend's house and play, but I didn't own it for the longest time. To go and have it complete now means a whole lot to me, because, you know, this is something I played a whole hell of a lot. You know, when you see this, again, I'd seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, and then to see this, and I had always played it in the arcade. Anytime that I saw it, you know, I just fucking ran up to it, and I always want to play it. Then it was like, now I have a home console version of that, and I'm just like, damn. And for anybody who doesn't have a Super Nintendo, if you have a Sega Genesis, the Hyperstone Heist is honestly just as fun. It's a very good game and overlooked, and then somehow, I don't understand why, but this and that, they go together, peas in a pod, but it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, Leonardo, fuck yeah, and honestly, Michael Bay, you're probably gonna fuck up that movie, but I hope you don't. Those 3D designs don't look too bad, admittedly. I was surprised. I was like, huh, look at that. They don't look fucking retarded. But they probably went back to the drawing board, so who knows. Let's see. Another game from my childhood that I played a whole lot, and every day after school would go home and watch this cartoon, so it was nice to finally go and have this in a box. Chip and Dale, Rescue Range, Chip and Dale, when there's danger, you know that'll never fail. Once they're involved, somehow everything gets solved. I think that's how it goes. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But anyway, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers on NES. This is probably one of the funnest, like, at least one of the funnest two-player games that you can play like co-op. This game's the shit. And you can go and, like, fuck each other up and stars go above their head. But Fat Cat, you know, up to his usual shenanigan bullshit and stuff. And you're going through the stage, and it's kind of cool because it's, like, you're on a map, and you can actually skip through certain stages, because the world map, you don't have to go on every single stage. And I kind of like that, but I would go back through because I felt, you know, well, I didn't really complete the game unless I beat all of them. But it's cool because you're at Chip and Dale, you know, they're fucking small as shit. Well, when you're on certain stages, like, you know, you're jumping around on coffee cups, and you're jumping on faucets, and you're trying to make the water stop so you don't get hurt when you're going through. You're going up through trees and trying to dodge all the birds attacking and stuff, and it's just really cool. Running along on power lines and shit, and picking up tons of stuff, hitting enemies, and using your brain, because there were certain aspects of it, like, it wasn't just platforming and throwing shit. Like, you had to actually use your brain on certain aspects of it, like, how am I going to get past this part, because there's, like, electricity and shit. But It's just a fun game. It is. It's one of those things like Capcom, when they were licensing things from Disney, they were hitting the nail on the head every single time. The only other company that did it as well, I would say, is Sega, with like Castle Illusion series and shit like that. Well, the Illusion series, rather. But this is an amazing game. Get it on Nintendo. It's worth every single penny that you will end up spending on it. Another Nintendo classic, which, like, the entire time that I'd known about this game, which I was talking about beat 'em ups and stuff, because I was just like, you know, oh my god, Turtles in Time, you really can't go and fuck with something like that. Well, guess what? You actually have to go way back to today. Gonna take you back to the past and play Kung Fu. Kung Fu, okay? Kung Fu is like the most basic shit in the entire world, but it's like, it's gotta look on the back of it. I know the lighting's kind of iffy here, but Kung Fu, you're just going from stage to stage and just like tons of dudes, just complete fodder running at you, and you're just kicking them dead in the fucking teeth, which, you know, got the fucking action going on there. But this is part of the black box set. Like, this is like OG Nintendo shit right here. And, I mean, you can beat this game within a couple minutes, no lie. Like, as soon as you get it down, you can beat the game in a couple minutes. But it's one of those things, like, it's still, like, kind of mindless fun. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a game I had played whenever I was little, and it's just like, fuck it. Part action series. Kick, jump, and punch your way to victory in Kung Fu. Kick, jump. Oh, wait, no. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, you will find the greatest teacher. I'm pleased to meet you. I think that's it. Parappa the Rapper. Oh, man, fucking, what is it, Master Onion? Shit, not Master Chop? Fuck, I can't remember his name now. Oh, man. Well, regardless, that song's really awesome. Like, one of the best on Parappa the Rapper. That's another series that needs to make a comeback. Just saying. But yeah, Kung Fu, it was only a couple bucks whenever I bought it, and I was just like, dude, complete, you know, in the box with, like, manual and all that shit. Okie dokie. So, I already had the game, but, I mean, for a couple dollars to have a complete game that you grew up loving, oh shit, and I dropped it. Luckily, it's not messed up. Now, these, actually, I'll go with these next. These I had seen on the, ID Software, who makes like the Doom games and stuff. I had seen these and they amused the living shit out of me. It's monsters from Doom in plushie form, and they are so soft. They are so adorable. I'm just like, oh, Luigi, how are you? Like, I had seen these and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. And they're seriously like dirt fucking cheap. I forgot how much they were, like $8 or some shit like that. Something like that. But yeah, I got a little Doom tag on each of them and stuff. And I mean, I grew up with Doom. Doom was the very first-person shooter that I had ever played, which I also got to play that in school. And, you know, I have fond memories of it. I like it a whole lot. And this, I'm still waiting for Doom 4, but you know what? Now I got little plushies. I actually keep them up on the shelf I have this camera on. It's like my graphic novel shelf, whatever the fuck. But I've kept them up on the very top shelf because I couldn't find any room up there to have them. But yeah, I wish that these had like some kind of strings or something, just because they're little floaty monsters and shit. So yeah, luckily they're not shooting out little fucking fireballs or anything like that like they normally are. But yeah, they're pretty fucking badass. I love them a whole lot. I also love their death animations. Whenever they die, I actually feel all accomplished, especially his. But yeah, and like inside, you can see like little electricity all building up, little fireball all charging up. But yeah, they're incredibly fucking cute. So if you are a big fan of Doom like me, you might like these things too. Maybe not, I have no clue. But I know a lot of people that dig plushies and shit, so I was just like, yeah, fuck it, why not? I thought it was pretty damn neat. Oh, let's see, where to go next? Keep in mind, this like, I have a lot of shit here. Fuck it, we'll go with this. Because it was 50 cents at a thrift store. Secret of Evermore. Fuck it, why not, right? Right. So, yeah, Secret of Evermore right here is just one of those strategy guides to a game that I like quite a bit. Let's see, back in the day, this cost $12.95. And Secret of Evermore is a game I never ended up completing, and I feel kind of ashamed saying that. But eventually I want to go back through and play because it's weird. Everybody always paid attention to Secret of Mana, but never paid much attention to this, and I can honestly say that you should check it out. And you know, you might be thinking, oh man, strategy guides, that ruins games for you. I like strategy guides for RPGs. It's seriously the truth. So strategy guides for RPGs are a must-have, must fucking get, there you go, shit like that. This, which I want to do a review on, I probably should so everybody can get a more in-depth look at it. But the 30th anniversary of Capcom character encyclopedia. And whenever I had seen this, I was just like, dude, featuring more than 200 Capcom characters from Ada Wong to Zero. Celebrate 30 wonderful years with some of the most famous characters in the history of video games. And it is very, very true. Now, DK, not Donkey Kong, the company that goes and puts this out, they actually make Marvel Encyclopedia and a DC Comics Encyclopedia, both of which I have read. And here, right here, we're going to see Firebrand and Fiona and Huey. Both three characters that I'm very well versed with and familiar with because I like both games. Firebrand, number one, everybody should know about him because of Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, and shit like that. But then there's Fiona and Huey, which are from Haunting Ground, which Haunting Ground is one of those survival horror games I always tell people, but I'm like, you should really like this. But anyway, the entire point to it is, like, it gives you a synopsis of, you know, what each character is, their history of them, then data, you know, also known as first appearance, currently playable on, most recent appearance, weapon of choice, arch enemy, then, you know, on Fiona, Huey, also known as only appearance, weapon of choice, occupation. So they'll have, like, a little data section on each of them. And, I mean, there's tons of fucking characters in this. I'm going to see if I can find one of the much bigger, more famous characters within Capcom's illustrious video game history. So, steroids be damned, we got Chris motherfucking Redfield right there. And it's, I don't know, it's one of those things, like, it's kind of cool to have just sitting somewhere and you can just pick it up and read it whenever you want. And, ironically, this is also a good way for you to learn about new games. Or just learn a little bit more about characters within games you may not have known the background to them. You know, like, there goes Vent from Mega Man ZX, which, again, is going to be something a lot of people are just like, wait, I've never played that one. Let's see. Stearman, E75 from 1943. You know, didn't know the fucking name of that shit. Sansan, I always forget how you're supposed to pronounce that. But also known as the Monkey King. Don't know shit about that character, but thanks to a book like this, I can. But it's just, again, one of those things. I really like books like this. I think they're a hell of a lot of fun to go and read. I've got a Mega Man encyclopedia back there, Resident Evil encyclopedia, the Legend of Zelda encyclopedia, so it's nice to have something like this. And it's just, it's entertaining and it's amusing. Let's see, what's next? Let's go up here. Because this stack of games right here is really high. This is a game I had rented a whole lot whenever I was younger, just because I liked, you know, I liked simulation type games like SimCity and stuff like that. But it's Theme Park on PlayStation 1, which this came out for multiple different things, but I always ended up playing it on PlayStation 1 because that was the system that I had at the time. But Theme Park pretty much, you know, a lot of people know about shit like Roller Coaster Tycoon and stuff like that. And there's been tons of variants and rehashes of something like this. But Theme Park was one of the earlier ones to do it. I like this, and I like Theme Park. Or Theme Hospital. But you know, both of them I thought were really amusing because they were very different from what we were seeing at the time. And Bullfrog is a company I kind of miss. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're like a subsidiary of Electronic Arts, I think. Not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure they are. But, design your own theme park. Think you can design and build the greatest amusement park in the world? You select a site, you lay out the rides and attractions, you control every aspect of running a profitable amusement park. From staffing to R&D, how many corkscrews can be safely crammed into a roller coaster anyway? Any mistakes and tourists who populate your park will be sure to let you know. Oh, and that merry-go-round in flames is a clue too. So yeah, you know, rides will get old and run down, some will become not popular and stuff like that. It's been years since I played this, and granted graphically this doesn't look like much of shit. It actually looks like a 16-bit game at best, but it's still a very fun game if you're into these kind of games. I can understand somebody being like, this shit's boring, but I liked it a whole lot, and it was $1 at the store that I went to. They didn't have a price tag on it or anything. I just went up, I was like, how much for this? And they were like, $1. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take that for $1. I spent more than that whenever I rented it back when I was a kid, so fuck it, why not? And I like having the tall PlayStation 1 cases, that's always cool. Now this is from the same store and did have a price tag on it, and ironically, I mainly bought it because I was making fun of the cover to it, which I think was the PAL Region cover if I'm not mistaken, but it's Center Ring Boxing, and it was $2. And I was looking on the back and I'm like, you know what, it actually doesn't look absolutely horrible for a 32-bit boxing game. But like this cover right here, it looks a little bit better than the other one, but the dude just looked like a big piece of ham. Or he looked like, imagine if a hot dog decided to become a professional boxer. That's what he looked like. I just thought it looked absolutely fucking absurd. I'm just like, that looks silly. But your goal is to topple the champ, a perfect fighter who is born to become the heavyweight champion of the world. But you must defeat 30 chumps, not champs, to get to the champ, and they won't go down without a fight. Work on your jabs, hooks, and uppercuts along with your blocking and footwork. Master the devastating multi-hit combos, and you just might have a shot at the champ. But will you be good enough? So, and I thought some of the stuff that they had here, like video mode, allows you to play back a whole 2-minute round with zoom controls, adjustable camera angles, and fast forward options. I thought that was kind of cool that they had something like that, like a little editing feature. Don't know if you'd be able to save something like that, but still, and it made me think of the original Driver game, which, like, that was a big deal back then. But yeah, that's just like, fuck it, $2? Sure, why not? Worst case scenario is the game is complete fucking crap, but, you know, whatever. Now, this right here is a game I've played on ROMs, and that was pretty much it. And I've played other versions of the game within the series, but Afterburner 2. And I've been on a big-time old-school Sega kick, which you'll see from some of the other games that I have here. But this, again, just like Theme Park, it came from the same exact store. It was $1. Like, $1 for Afterburner 2, sure, why not? You know, I mean, it's complete. It actually has its manual. That's pretty damn good, and I mean, it's in really great condition. But the Afterburner games just, you know, if you want to see the back of it, but the Afterburner games are... Take the concept of a simulation flying game and strip out the sim part of it and just make it a really fast and frantic arcade game where you're just fast as fuck dodging all these enemy fire missiles and shit. You know, there's ground troops and stuff that are shooting shit at you, and it's just meant for you to stay alive and just blow up as much shit as you can, like, and it's fun. Like, I like it because it's just crazy ass fun. Anything that ups the amount of speed and the momentum of something, I'm into. And, like, one of the best in the series, and my personal favorite, is actually the last one that they made within it, and that's Afterburner Climax, which you can get on, like, Xbox Live and PSN and stuff. But Afterburner 2, play the earlier titles, which they're not nearly as good as the arcade versions, or, like, on Sega Saturn and stuff, but still pretty damn fun, all in all, I do say so myself. Let's see, what do we have up here? This game, which I will be completely honest, I know jack shit about, and I only got it because it was super cheap and it had Atlas on it. And on the back, it honestly didn't look all that bad, but it is an Atlas game, and it's big performance, and it's $2.50, and it's just like, shit, why not? 20 plus cars to choose from, race in either direction on 5 different tracks, including original Pikes Peak hill climb, 3 different camera angles, impeccable details, build and design your own tracks using the first of its kind track editor. Choose the time of day for each race, design your own car, tires, suspension, color, and more. Car name editor, 1 or 2 players. And also, I noticed right there, the Namco Nedcon controller, which I do have, this is compatible with it. It's just like, that's kind of interesting. So, create your own tracks, create your own car, edit a bunch of shit, you know, so long as the control's good, because graphically it looks really nice, at least from the still images. I haven't seen it in motion or anything, but I couldn't pass up on it. I was just like, fuck it, why not? Let's see here. You know, I will... where is it? I have it around here somewhere. There is a particular game. Ah, it's on the bottom. That's why I'm not seeing it. Okay. These I will get out of the way because I was talking about Sega Arcade Classics and stuff like that. Now, I got this from Billy from the Game Chasers. Me and him actually traded some stuff, and I have to thank you a whole bunch, dude, because this is like a very big deal to me, because I not only wanted this game a whole lot, but I'll explain. But to begin with, number 1, send me Game Chasers DVD. So he's a absolute fucking badass for doing something like that. So thank you a whole bunch, considering I've been following the series since its very first episode. So it's pretty damn awesome to be able to go and have this. And I've gotten some of my friends and family into the show too. So it'll be cool to go and have this. And he sent me this. This was actually in one of the episodes of Game Chasers. I was floored that he was willing, like, he actually said he would, like, send it to me just, you know, because we're fucking friends. I'm like, That's too fucking nice of you. I have to send you something. So I sent him this little, like, very obscure 80s system and some games and stuff. Because this is something I've wanted a whole bunch. Number one, I love working designs. I want every working designs game because I love them enough to actually own all their games. But the Sega Ages collection, overseas, they put out the games like individually and stuff like that. I wanted this because it actually had 3D games on there, and that's Afterburner 2, which, you know, just got done talking about, Outrun, and Space Harrier. Now, it is said that these are, like, basically arcade perfect, and everybody speaks really highly of them. And the thing is, a lot of these games haven't had proper ports onto consoles that are arcade perfect. I know 32X, I think, had the best version of Afterburner on it, but, you know, with, like, Outrun and Space Harrier and stuff, you kind of have to jump all over the place. I don't want to have to go to use a MAME emulator all the time, so this is really nice. And I don't want to have to import and pay all the importing fees and shit, so I got this. So 2 birds with 1 stone, 3 of the best Sega arcade games, and a working designs game, and something else to put up there with my illustrious Sega Saturn collection, which I love dearly. And again, it's all thanks to a very awesome friend out there. So Billy, you're fucking awesome. Thank you a whole bunch from the bottom of my very metal blackened heart that just outputs soot, basically. But yeah, now if anybody wants to see the inside of it, there you go. Pretty damn happy. I am. I'm absolutely fucking giddy and pleased with this. So thank you a whole bunch. So episodes of the Game Chasers and one of the best fucking Sega Saturn games to ever grace the system's library. Fuck yeah. Alright, let's see. Let's go on with this right here. Another long box PlayStation 1 game, which I had played eons ago. Never got the original again up until recently, but I do love the shit of the 3D versions. I would love to see this make a comeback, and that's Gex. Now, Gex, a lot of people argue and say the 3DO version is the best, but I don't see a big drastic difference between this and that. I think it's also on Sega Saturn, I think. But yeah, Gex, if you want to look on the back, Gex is pretty much like a really neat-ass platforming game that breaks the fourth wall pretty frequently, especially the 3D games, which I end up getting a lot more into those, like Deep Cover Gecko and shit like that. But this I just liked a whole lot because they have, like, you know, a little horror stage and stuff, and Gecko will cling to the wall and he'll go, like, super fast and shit and eat up stuff, and just, I thought it was cool. But HBO comedian Dana Gould fuels Gex with over 300 hilarious one-liners and sound effects. Gex's mouth gets him in trouble, but it's his thrashing tail and suction cup paws that get him out. Gex has been sucked into the media dimension, the place where cheesy 70s movies go to retire. To escape, he's gotta kill TVs in each world. Remember that bumper sticker? Over 450 frames of smooth 3D animation and hand-rendered backgrounds. So yeah, I got this for $3.94. I actually just remembered that. As a matter of fact, when I went out with Gamester81, whenever he came down here, this was one of the games that I got. So if you ever check out Gamester81's channel or his site or anything and you see the episode where me and him actually are going out and about, this was one of the things I got. Yeah! But yeah, I just think it's pretty damn cool seeing stuff like this. It's very over the top, doesn't give a shit, it's very tongue-in-cheek, but that's the reason why I like it, because it was really different at the time. A lot of people are going with, like, animal mascots with, like, the typical dude. This was more akin to something like Earthworm Jim, where they actually had, like, a relatively well-built personality and they weren't obnoxious and annoying. You know, it wasn't Awesome Possum where you want to punch your fist right through his fucking face, or Bubsy 3D that made you want to slit your fucking throat. No. This is a pretty kick-ass character, 3D game's really cool, so yeah, for $4 I was not passing on that. I forget, does this have a manual? Yes, it does have the manual! Yay! I forgot, I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Alrighty. For the 3DS, Luigi's Mansion! Dark Moon. So, I like the original Luigi's Mansion a whole lot. I never understood why it got so much hate. Well, I kind of understand. Everybody wanted a Super Mario game. They got Luigi's Mansion, but they weren't willing to give Luigi's Mansion a chance, which again is kind of a bullshit thing because it was a very original, very different kind of game. And now lots of people like it. I'm hoping for an HD version to come out on Wii U. I mean, they did it with Wind Waker. Luigi's Mansion, I would say, is definitely worth it. Just bringing it out at a budget price of $30. People will scoop that shit up and then some. But Dark Moon, I haven't really gotten to get into because I'm playing so many fucking things at the moment. But there was a sale going on at Target. I ended up picking this up. And what else did I pick up? I think it was Wonderful 101, which you will see. So you already know when the games will be there. But I had to get both of them because they were dirt fucking cheap. I was not going to pass up on them. So to be able to play more Luigi's Mansion, a new adventure on the go, fuck yeah, I'll do something like that. Catch ghosts and uncover secrets using new gadgets such as Poltergust 5000, the Dark Lake device, and more. And also on Nintendo Land, the little Luigi's Mansion inspired ghost game that they have on there, that's fun as fuck, just saying. So yeah, happy to have that. Let's see, this was actually sent to me by a couple people. I'm gonna open this up. He was nice enough to send me a letter. So Dennis said, "Dear AlphaOmegaSin, thank you for giving my friend your address. We both like to watch your videos. For example, your rants against the insanity of today's video game industry, or when you present and discuss single games or collections. I especially liked your video on Saturn imports, since I'm also an avid import gamer. Check out these great sites on Saturn games. The games that I have sent are Sonic and Asterix. The latter only came out in Europe and Brazil." And he goes on to go and discard the game. If you have questions about the game, just write back. But yeah, this is from Dennis. Dennis, big time thank you for this. I'd actually written back to his friend to let him know that I did get it and stuff. But Sega Master System, Sonic the Hedgehog, which I don't have, I barely have any Master System games. It's one of those systems that I've been wanting to get into, but around my area, I never see games for it. Like, ever. It's like TurboGrafx 16. They don't come up often, but when they do, it's just like, oh my god, amazing. And then Asterix, which I know this is based off of a comic. That much I know, but I don't know much outside of that. But looks like it's a little platforming game. Get a fix. The druid whose magic potion has kept his village from falling into Caesar's hands has been kidnapped. Join Asterix and Obelix as they try to rescue the druid and save the village. And then the rest is in different languages, so I can't fucking read them. But yeah, and then rounds 8, so I'm assuming that is going to be stages. But open it up, and it is in fact complete. And it's cool to be able to get something like this because, again, it's a Europe-only game. So chances of finding it around here without hitting up an import shop who just might have this game is relatively nil. Also, there really isn't any import shops around here, which sucks ass. But yeah, it's nice to be able to beef up the Master System collection, and especially the Sonic the Hedgehog on there, which everybody is like, you know, it's just the Game Gear ones, but I like those ones a lot, so I'm like, yo, fucking yay! So, again, dude, thank you a whole bunch. It was kind of you to ever even consider sending something to me, let alone actually doing it, so I appreciate it, and then some. You're fucking awesome. You're a peach! Let's see. This is another book that I want to do a review on, which, for good reason, because this is actually a really big deal to me. I've read this entire thing now, and again, because I was talking about the Sega arcade things, but this is Hardcore Gaming 101 presents Sega Arcade Classics Volume 1. And it includes Afterburner, Golden Axe, Space Harrier, Shinobi, Outrun, Fantasy Zone, Alex Kidd, Altered Beast, Game Ground, Alien Syndrome, Wonder Boy / Monster World, Galaxy Force, Alien Storm, Crackdown, Dynamite Ducks, E-SWAT, Thunderblade, Quartet, and Power Drift. Now, I'm going to go to, let's see, we'll go to the Altered Beast page. Power up, power up. Reading all about Altered Beast, and talks about the arcade version. It will, and keep in mind, like, it's a full color book. That's one of the things I like about it a whole lot. It talks about the various versions of each game that will come out. You know, I'll talk about the Master System version. I'll talk about the obscure, random European or Japanese-only PC-based systems that will come out on. You know, I'll talk about the entire lineage, the heritage of them. This right here is talking about the newest Shinobi game that came out. Let's go a little bit forward. Here goes Power Drift, a game that I have not ever actually played, but I am aware of. Outrunners, which is something that I've wanted to go and check out for a very long time, but I heard that the console versions of them are butchered to shit and back, which everybody's pretty much said that. I had mentioned Afterburner Climax, and there it is right there. But, you know, big-ass screenshots of everything, which I like quite a bit, and this is just a really good book. I was fucking about it on Amazon, and whenever I picked up that Capcom Encyclopedia, this actually showed up, and I did some reading on it. I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go and get that. And I did, and I was like, I think this is actually cool enough to go and review, so fuck it, but I'll include it in this pickups video. But yeah, there you go. A very cool-ass little book there. I'll put that on top of my Nintendo box. Let's see, trying to figure out, like, where to go next, because there's so much. You know what, actually, I will end this as part 1 because this is quite a bit of stuff right here. So this will be the end of part 1, and, you know, just watch part 2, please. Yay, thumbs up for that. I don't know, fuck yeah, and shit like that. So anyway, see you in part 2.